Do you wake up feeling swollen, tired, with a bloated stomach, or with that feeling that your body is just heavy? That's not normal. A lot of people think it's their age, a hectic routine, lack of exercise, or that it's all in their head, but it's not. In most cases, this is silent inflammation happening inside your body. A study showed that more than half of the population lives with mild inflammation daily, and it goes unnoticed because the first symptoms are very subtle. Swelling, fatigue, irritability, digestive problems, bad skin, lack of focus. And all of this starts to become part of your routine until you start to think that's just the way it is. But let me tell you about a quick experience. Once, a patient came in saying she was always tired, even though she was sleeping well. She had bloating, sluggish digestion, and irritated skin. She had already tried diets, exercise, supplements, but nothing worked. When we adjusted a few small things, like hydration, her routine, and food choices, within 3 days she was already feeling better, with her body feeling lighter, her energy returning, and her skin calming down. This wasn't a miracle, it was de-inflammation. And that's exactly what I want to show you today. Simple, real, and fully backed steps that start to reduce inflammation in your body in less than 24 hours. And you don't need to buy anything, you don't need a radical diet, you don't need expensive supplements. It's science applied to everyday life, and it works. Today, I'm going to give you 7 main tips and 2 final bonuses that will speed up this process. And the first tip might seem simple, but when you do it the right way, your entire body responds. Let's get started. Tip 1. Proper hydration to reduce inflammation. If you want to reduce inflammation fast, the first step is proper hydration. A study showed that even 2% dehydration already increases inflammatory substances in the blood, like interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha. And believe it or not, you can be dehydrated without feeling thirsty. And that's the problem. I've worked with many people who say they drink plenty of water, but when they actually tracked it, they weren't even getting half of what they needed. You know what happened? Constant bloating, slow digestion, irritated skin, waking up tired, and difficulty losing weight. And all of this improves with proper hydration. So how do you do it right? Start your day with 300 to 500 milliliters of water. This activates your intestines, improves circulation, and helps eliminate toxins that have built up overnight. Then, drink water in small sips throughout the day. This pattern keeps your body in a constant state of balance, reduces fluid retention, and improves cellular function. Think of your body like an engine that needs clean oil to run. Without water, everything gets stuck. And the next tip boosts this effect even more. Tip 2. Immediate anti-inflammatory foods. The second way to quickly reduce inflammation is to include foods that reduce inflammation within a few hours. Studies show that antioxidants and polyphenols have an almost immediate effect in reducing inflammatory markers. You don't need to make a huge meal. Simply include foods rich in anti-inflammatory foods in your daily routine. Turmeric, ginger, extra virgin olive oil, avocado, sardines or any source of omega-3, red berries, and chia or flax seeds. A spoonful of chia seeds in your coffee, a drizzle of olive oil at lunch, or a piece of red fruit as a snack. There's no need to complicate things, just apply it. Turmeric, for example, is so potent that it reduces inflammation in a matter of minutes because of curcumin. Omega-3, in turn, shuts down inflammatory pathways throughout the body, and red fruits are very rich in antioxidants. So choose one and put it on your plate today. And now we come to the point that bothers those who are inflamed the most, the swelling. Tip 3. Natural ways to reduce bloating. Swelling is the quickest sign that something is wrong. A study showed that when the body retains fluids, the lymphatic system slows down. This increases inflammation. Luckily for you, there are natural ways to break this cycle. Walk for 10 to 15 minutes after eating. This small habit improves digestion, activates circulation, reduces fluid retention, stabilizes glucose, and decreases inflammation almost instantly. Consume foods rich in potassium, such as bananas, avocados, cantaloupe, and coconut water. Potassium balances sodium and reduces excess water trapped in cells. Breathe deeply for 2 minutes. Yes, it sounds silly, but it helps reduce cortisol. And high cortisol levels definitely equal high inflammation. This 3-pronged approach of light movement, potassium, and breathing reduces swelling surprisingly quickly. Now that you've reduced the swelling, let's talk about habits that cause inflammation without you realizing it. But first, I need you to do one thing for me. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. This helps me continue creating content here for YouTube. Tip 4. Fast-acting anti-inflammatories. Small habits can drastically reduce inflammation in the body. A study showed that simple changes in routine reduce inflammation faster than large, isolated changes. Get 10 minutes of natural light in the morning. This regulates hormones, improves mood, and adjusts the biological clock. Reduce screen time and bright light at night. This point is ignored by almost everyone. Bright light increases cortisol and takes your body out of the recovery phase. Practice slow breathing before going to sleep. Just 2 to 3 minutes is enough to reduce the activity of the sympathetic nervous system, the one that keeps you alert. And this prepares the body to identify if you are actually inflamed. And here comes the next step. Tip 5. Signs that your body is inflamed. Before continuing, it's important to know if you are actually in an inflammatory state. A study showed that mild inflammation affects your energy, skin, and digestion days before more serious symptoms appear. And the classic signs are persistent swelling, fatigue even after a good night's sleep, irritated red skin or adult acne, hair loss, slow digestion or bloating, a heavy feeling in your legs, and joint pain for no reason. And if your body's sending signals, it's because something is out of balance. And this brings us to the central point of inflammation, the gut. Tip 6. Gut health and inflammation. The gut is the command center for inflammation. A study showed that approximately 70% of the body's inflammatory response comes from it. When the gut is irritated, it allows small particles to pass into the bloodstream, increasing inflammation. So what can you do to improve in 24 hours? Eat fermented foods like plain yogurt, kombucha, or sauerkraut. Include soluble fibers like chia, flaxseed, and oats. And avoid very heavy meals at night. This strengthens the intestinal barrier and reduces systemic inflammation. Tip 7. The anti-inflammatory routine to use today. A simple routine is much more effective than a radical change. A study showed that daily consistency reduces far more inflammation than any isolated strategy. So the anti-inflammatory routine for today is hydrate when you wake up, have an anti-inflammatory food with your main meal, walk for 10 to 15 minutes after eating, reduce screen time at night, and do 3 minutes of slow breathing before bed. It's simple, it's applicable, and it's effective. And now you get 2 more bonuses to speed up this process. First bonus, cut out sugar for 24 hours. A study showed that sugar increases inflammation in 30 minutes. Yes, I said minutes. So for 24 hours, avoid sweets, sodas, ready-made juices, and sugar in your coffee. This alone reduces bloating, improves energy, and soothes the gut. Second bonus, sleep 30 to 60 minutes earlier. Deep sleep is the greatest natural anti-inflammatory that exists. That's because sleeping too little increases inflammation by up to 40% the next day. So sleep 30 to 60 minutes earlier, reduce screen time before bed, and keep your room dark and quiet. And your body will thank you immediately. And now tell me, which of these tips will you apply today? You don't have to do everything at once. Choose one, then another, and let your body show you the results. And you'll be surprised by the difference small changes can make. And before you go, subscribe to the channel. This simple gesture helps me a lot to continue producing content that can transform your health. And leave a comment below telling me which tip made the most sense to you. I read everything and always reply.